You are watching the tutorial for Photo Assignment 2. In this tutorial we will cover red eye, cropping, spot heal, cookie cutter, and blur. These are all done using Adobe Photoshop. To edit a red eye photograph, we will use two different methods. The first method, once we get zoomed in so we can see here correctly, the first method is to use the red eye removal tool. This is on the toolbar on your left hand side. Click on that, choose an area that is red in the eye, and click on it. As you can see, it did the right eye instead of the left. It chooses everything in the picture similar in color. Normally it would get the eye you're on, might do both. If you run into a problem where that doesn't work with the red eye removal tool, your other option is to use the paintbrush. You'll have to zoom in on your photograph. I'm choosing black because I'm going to do around the pupil. I want to zoom in real close. That way I can set the paintbrush for 1 pixel, and I can go pixel by pixel and actually fill in that red area. This is your last resort. This is typically done if the red eye removal tool doesn't work, but most of the time the red eye removal tool will work just fine. Again, this works with red eye if you're trying to do pictures of animals. They're occasionally red, but typically you'll see those in a yellow or green. You would want to use this paintbrush method if you're fixing those. We'll zoom back out here. Obviously this isn't perfect, it's just to illustrate how we do it. Once you're done with red eye, the next thing we are going to look at is cropping the picture. So I'll choose the crop tool. This will allow me to make the picture smaller so I can choose just a particular part. This is nice if you have a large picture with a lot of information. Maybe you want just one person out of the picture. Once I've covered the area, I can adjust it. I can make it any size I want. And then I must choose the little green check on the bottom. That finishes it. I can always go back. Once I get done doing cropping, I'm now going to look at doing spot healing. This is going to be done using the spot heal tool, again on the left hand side. It looks an awful lot like a band-aid. On this picture, there's not a real good place to do this. You typically are going to use this tool to remove something like pimples or scars or different blemishes on someone's face. So I'm going to open up a different picture here that should work quite a bit better for us. As you can see in this picture, this person has pimples, so I'm going to choose that spot heal tool. I'm going to start just clicking on the affected area. What this does is basically blends the colors that are around that blemish. Sometimes you have to click quite a few times. It doesn't just happen one time over top of it. Again, you can adjust pixel size. Experiment with it. You want to get the nicest, cleanest look that you can possibly get. Here I'm doing his chin. He's also got a spot up by his nose. We'll try to clean that up just a little bit as well. Again, this is used for blemishes on the face or on the body is really the best thing. You can also use it for maybe fixing a tear in somebody's clothing. There are other uses, but as far as your assignment, do blemishes on the face. It's the most obvious one, easiest to do. In the next part of our assignment, we are going to use the cookie cutter tool. This allows us to cut out different parts of the photograph in specific shapes. You have a menu here that allows you to choose different shapes. Yes, it is limited. It's less than perfect. It's just kind of a neat thing to use if you're doing like signs, different things like that. So I selected which pattern I wanted. I clicked on the picture, drug it. That cuts out the area. Now I can adjust the size just like I did with cropping. And again, it's going to give me a checkbox down at the bottom that I can click OK. That'll keep the picture then that way. The last thing we're going to look at is blurring. The blur tool looks like the little eye drop down at the bottom. I realize I'm playing with the spot heal right now, mostly because I just couldn't remember at the moment which one it was. So here is the actual blur tool. When I click on that, I can use this to blur the area in the back. I want to set my level. Of course, I'm changing my size. Then I want to set my level to 100%. That'll give me the most blur. As I hold down on the left mouse button and move it around, this starts to blur the edges on everything. What you're going to want to do is keep one thing in the picture that isn't blurry. So everything else around it, like maybe you have a picture of a person. Here I'm kind of starting to do the background. I was going to leave the flowers. You want everything but one object in there, and try to have a large object. The other way to do it is to select the object using the magnetic lasso tool. As I go around this, I'm going to look at selecting the inverse because I want the area around it. So I go to select and inverse. This will select the entire area around the outside of this flower. Then I'm going to use a blur filter. This will make everything in the background blurry without using the tool. Depending on what you're trying to accomplish will dictate which one of these you choose to use. I'm trying another filter just to try to get it a little blurrier so it's more obvious. You want to try to make this as obvious as you can. And again, when you're saving pictures, always keep that original so I can compare that with your finished project. Those are the different tools we're going to use in this assignment. Good luck.